जय जिनेन्द्र। अरिहंत सिद्ध सुर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है। तीन को स्वरूप जानी राग ते भई जो भक्ति काय को नमाय स्तुति को उच्चारी है। धन्य धन्य तुम्ही से काज सब आज भयो कर चोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है। मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहते हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। Welcome all to this inaugural session of English 2024 batch. Just now we had a Mangalacharan that has been written by Pandit Todarmal ji, and the last line, if you have observed, हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है. So we have set for ourselves very high, you can say, target, हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी जैसी तुम धारी है. So whatever you have achieved by taking shelter in your soul, that we also want to achieve, and we will also take shelter of our soul so that these things gets manifested in our modification. So with that thing in our mind, we are starting this Paramagam honors course. It's a 5-year course, and there are 10 semesters. Every 6 months there will be one semester, and I'll just explain you the whole thing about the course, and before that we will do introduction one by one, and after you all finish your introduction, I will give my introduction, and then we'll begin the class. So I would like all of you to switch on your video so that I can see you, and I can have a feel that people are listening. And thank you. Yeah. So we start with Shubhangi Jain. You have to say your name, from which city you are in, what is your academic qualification, and how much you have studied it in terms of religion, and how did you got connected to this studies. So these are
Hello.
yeah.
Yeah, my name is Shubhangi Jain. I am from Delhi, and I have a very basic, uh, minimal to basic, not even basic knowledge of Jainism. I am a graduate and currently married. Uh, m- uh, because of my mother-in-law, I came to this course. And I really want to know more about this. I want to understand what our religion stands for and what are the basic knowledge. So when my kid asks me, "Mummy, what is this and why are we doing this?" So I have that answers for his questions. That's why.
So nice of you. One more thing I would ask is, what is your current status, whether you are working or an housewife or...
I'm a housewife. I am doing a house-based candle making small business. I
Oh,
am a housewife.
good. Nice to hear from you. Next, Arunji Jain.
Can I switch off my video and unmute?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No problem.
Okay.
Hi everyone, I am Arun. I'm staying in Gurgaon. I have very basic knowledge of Jainism. I am a graduate and I'm a working professional, a software engineer.
And your interest in...
So I got to know about this course from one of my friends. He's in the 6th semester right now.
Okay.
And why I want to learn about it is just to get some knowledge, like the basic principles behind Jainism, right? And why we are following it.
Okay. Good to hear from you, Arunji, and you will have a great time here. Next, Urjaji Jain.
Yeah. Hi, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi. So I am currently based out of Bombay, and I'm a chartered accountant by profession. I'm currently working with NIF Infrastructure Finance Limited. I'm going to shift to Deutsche, and yeah. And so about Jainism, of course, despite being a Jain, I didn't know much about it. But I was lucky enough. So I got married to a family who follows Jainism to the core. I think you might be aware, Mr. Dilip Sethi from Calcutta.
Yeah,
Uh,
I know.
yeah, so he's my father-in-law.
Other
Yeah,
day, so, we connected to you for Nanne Bhaiya's transfer of money at BKC.
right.
So my son was there. I sent my son to
Okay.
connect to
Got
give
it,
the
got
money.
it.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, so he's my father-in-law. So I've got that influence from him.
Yeah.
I got to know about this course because I was going through some videos of Swaनुभuti Jain,
Yeah.
and then I got to know this course. Yeah, so my knowledge is also basic, but of course, I've learned a little bit over the years, the fundamentals, and I was very keen to understand and deep dive on it.
No problem. You will become a master in 5 years. I can assure you.
So, looking forward to it. Thank you.
Uh, M. Jain. So, Madhuji, or what? What's your name? Unmute yourself.
Sorry. I am Malti Jain.
Okay.
So I'm from Jaipur, and I've been having an active professional life. I'm a consultant with the World Bank, and also do advisory with diplomatic missions. And but I've taken a sabbatical now, and that's how time and what you can do all these 3 years. So all my friends, some of them around, they have been doing these courses on deep knowledge of Jainism. But we had a family function at Chaitanya Dham recently where Swanubhuti ji was there. That was my ultimate trigger that yes, there is something very, very interesting in Jainism, in the theory of Jainism.
Right.
क्रिया छोड़ दें अगर तो जो thought है, जो philosophy of Jainism, that is really very, very and I agree to one of my friends who said that we need answers for our children. I have 2 sons, professionals, very right, but I want them to feel proud that they are Jains. So for that, I need answers myself. And we with teams, cross teams, तो हमारे पास जवाब होना चाहिए कि जैनिज्म है क्या ये. So I'm sure it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Good that everything happens for certain cause. So like
Yes.
Swanubhuti ji going to Chaitanya Dham and you joining this course, all this relates us to the fact that there is independence everywhere. Whatever is happening, it's happening on its own, and right people get the right connection at the right time, and
Perfect example. Yes.
yeah. So this whole path of liberation is like that only. When the time comes, all the connecting points gets connected, and you are onto the task.
Yeah.
Good to hear. Next, Kopalji.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Kopal. I'm a working professional. I belong to the field of medicine. I'm a surgeon based out of Mumbai. So I got to know about this course from my sister-in-law because of my constant approach. I mean, I kept asking her about the science behind everything. And so she introduced me to the course, and that's what struck my interest in basically joining the course and learning more about Jainism. I'm not a Jain. I'm married into a Jain family, and so like since we want to bring up Jainism in our future generations, so I just basically need to start learning about the basics and take it from there.
Good.
Yeah.
So this is again another example, ki, we are all destined at some point of time to connect to religion, and this is how we get connected this way or that way. Uh, you are also going to join?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm Parth Shah. We are married, so basically we'll join from one session only. And I'm Dr. Parth, and I'm a maxillofacial surgeon based out of Bombay. We work in a couple of hospitals, and we practice here in Bombay itself. And I got to know about this course from my sister Yoganshi, who's in a final semester, and my dad is also pretty much quite a learned guy in Jainism, so he keeps talking about it. So we just thought it is just the right time to start for ourselves also.
Originally, you are from Rajasthan?
No, Kutch. We are Kutchis.
Acha, Kutchis. Okay. So I was just wondering which title is in which caste. So,
Which he is a Punjabi.
acha. Okay. And what's your
Kutchi.
name? So,
I'm
no, your
Parth Shah.
Parth Shah. Okay, fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you have also registered?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, good. Nice. It's always nice to do joint studies, because we are interacting on many fronts on a day-to-day basis. And if we are able to apply those principles at that point of time, and both of you understand that principle, so it becomes very easy, life becomes more smooth and meaningful.
Yeah.
So nice to hear about that. I would also request everyone other to get your other half into this course. If you can get it right now, it's good, so that both of you can study along, just like this couple.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We will look forward to you more inputs from you.
Yeah, thank you.
Ji Kothari, next.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, myself Amit Kothari. I'm a chartered accountant and a company secretary by profession, by qualification, and by profession I'm a banker. Based out of Bombay right now, born and brought up in Calcutta. On family side and from in-laws side, they are well into Jainism, but I would say that apart from Namori and Tanam, I don't know anything. So thought of getting into it, part of Jito Mentor Group JPF, there where I was able to see this link, and out of curiosity and out of the points which the mentor group was sharing about this course, I thought it's well to join and understand that principle in detail. So that is what brought me into this course.
Definitely, you are at the right place at the right time, and hope you have a good 5 years study, and you become a master. These things are so simple, like doing a chartered accountancy course and a company secretary course. All these things are very laborious and difficult, but regarding this religion, the fundamentals are very easy. You just understanding is easy, but applying is a bit challenge, and that's what we are going to do in the next 5 years. Practical application is our emphasis. If we learn something, we need to get those things reflected in our day-to-day life, so our day-to-day life becomes smooth, happy, and fearless. So that way, our endeavor is to get the principles in our day-to-day life. So you will be enjoying, you will have a very good experience. Thank you so much for your introduction. Next, Leena ji.
Yeah. Jai Jalendra, everyone. So my name is Leena and I belong to Ahmedabad. Currently, I'm in Pune. I work here as a software professional. And yeah, I want to know more about Jainism. I feel like Jainism is not only about, doing the kriyas and all. It is more towards the way of living a life, towards going towards spirituality. And there is a lot of scope in self improvement, and I can know that by knowing Jainism more on the deeper aspects, what is it about. So I know little bit. I have also seen Swanubhuti ji's videos, and I'm also doing one another course which is MA in Jainology. So through a friend I got to know about this course also. So I registered here as well.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
to get more clarity of my concepts and to apply it on myself, and
Definitely.
that is
Definitely. Good idea. Nice to hear from you, Leena ji. Now next, Swapna ji, Koot.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Swapna Koot. I'm from Pune, and I am textile engineer, but working as a graphics designer. And few questions are coming to my mind, like existential questions. So I used to ask my mom, and from her only I came to know all this. So I'm very interested to know all Jainism also, and I want to keep my mind in peace level with that questions. So I'm joining this course.
So you have answered to your all queries, that I can assure you. And
Yes.
Koot is belonging to which, you are belonging to?
Jain.
Jain, but which, Rajasthan or?
No, Maharashtra only.
Maharashtra only. Okay.
Yes.
Good. So I am today getting you, learning new titles. I never heard about.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice to.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Next,
Thank you.
Roshni ji.
Chaityanendra. I am sitting in a dark place. I'm from Dallas in USA. It's around 10 o'clock at night, so I haven't switched on the light. But Chaityanendra to everybody.
Jai Jinendra,
And
Jai.
Chaityanendra.
You know
I'm
the
an
local,
actually,
you know the local people there in Dallas, Niketa Parekh and Atul Bhai and all.
okay, yes, I see them at Monday. I see them.
Yeah. She's a ex Parmagam Honors graduate. She graduated from the first batch. She was a topper in that US batch. I was teaching that batch, and she has done very good for herself. And maybe you can interact with her more on a regular basis, to get the more insight into this religion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you
Great
for
that
letting
you
me
are
know.
joining at this time. Maybe like it's very late for you, but anyway, your interest shows that you will be able to, grasp and be a master in another 5 years.
I hope so. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Apurva
And
ji, yeah. Thank you, Roshni ji. Apurva ji is our coordinator for the whole Parmagam Honors batches that are running, and he's into central committee of the management, and lot of responsibilities with him, and he's doing a fantastic job. I can only applaud about it, but he is spending so much time for all of us. Thank you, Apurva ji.
Thank you, sir. I thought I'll just join for some time so that I know the names and faces. So if anybody has any issues,
it's good. And if you like, will be appointing 2 team leaders from our group also. But in case of any difficulty, you can always get in touch with Apurva ji. He's the ultimate person whom we go to for any kind of help. Thank you, Apurva ji. Yeah. Next is Sefali ji Jain.
Hello,
Yeah.
Jai Jinendra. I'm from Mumbai. My name is Shefali. Actually, I'm a Agrawal Marwari married to a Digambar Jain.
Oh.
And it's been some years since we are married. I always wanted to get deep knowledge about it since I'm coming from a non-Jain family. So some of my cousins are doing classes with you, and they suggested that this is the best option for you to go into it.
Good that you are at the right place. And by profession, you are a housewife?
Yeah, I'm a travel agent also, and I work from home.
Okay, fine. Nice to hear that you are into so many things at the same time. And it's always requires special effort to join this type of course. But once you join it, and once you get to know about it, it's all very interesting. And the journey is all very exciting. So I cannot recall anything in this life that is more important than this studies. And because the studies is our, you can say, it's our tools, to get to the path of liberation and ultimately the liberation.
Right.
We have set very high standards, for us, and we are also going to execute it in the manner it is required, and there will be some extra efforts, no doubt, but the result and the fruits are, if we consider it, the results and the fruits, these efforts is nothing. But hope you all have a very fantastic time with this course. And myself, Rajesh Shet, and I am a teacher in Parmagam since its inception, that is 2016. I was also born and brought up in Kolkata, and I did my education in Kolkata, and I came to Mumbai in 1990 for business purpose, and I have settled here since then. And I'm basically a commerce graduate from Kolkata University, and I was not very, but I was not into religion at all. But somehow, after my marriage, I was just planning to. We were basically Sthanakwasi, Svetambar Sthanakwasi, and my connection with religion was that much that I used to go to that big Pratikaman at the end of Samansari, and that also half an hour before it gets over. So that was my routine, and then further I never went to the temple anytime. So that was my routine, and once similarly I went there for the last half an hour, and there 3 questions were asked: who am I, where I have come from, and what is my true identity? So these 3 questions strike me that I never thought of these things, and I always thought that I am a body. And so then she said, the one who was conducting the Pratikaman, that lady said that if you want to know the answers to these 3 questions, you come and join our group. We do Swadhyay every day in the evening from 8 to 9, and if you join that group, then you will get answers to all these questions, and you will come to know about deep into Jainism. So that's how I got connected to that group, and we were around 25 people, and I started going to the class, me and my wife, but we were not able to understand anything. Dravya, Gun, Paryay, we never heard these words, before. So few days we went, and we were not understanding anything, but one of the guys there told me that you keep coming for 10 days, then you will start understanding, and be patient. So I was just sticking around, and I thought, okay, someday I will be able to understand this. Then after 4 or 5 days, she called me at her place, and my sister and my brother-in-law also joined. They were also here. So we all 4 went, and she explained the whole basics, maybe it took 2 hours, but and that time I realized that, oh, this is such a wonderful thing. And then we continued with those classes, and then she got us connected to the Sadhviji, under whom this study was going on. She was at some other place in Chaturmas at Andheri. So we went there in Andheri and met her, and the first lecture I heard of her also motivated me to go further deep into it. And then on, we were going every Sunday to her wherever she was there, and she was also traveling after 4 months they do travel. So she was a Sthanakwasi Sadhviji, and so we were studying that, and suddenly this is I was talking about 1997, and subsequently in 2000, so she was also reading from Kanji Swami's lecture on Samaysar. So we begin from Samaisar only, and the readings, the scripture, I got interested in that scripture, and then I bought all the volumes, 1 to 11 volumes of pravachans on Samaisar. It goes by the name of Pravachan Ratnakar, and there were 11 parts in it, and it were all Kanji Swami's pravachan on the Samaisar. And it was all in Gujarati. I'm a Gujarati, so I bought that 11 volumes and started reading. And by the time I was into the 11th book, I got very interested, deep into it. And we were also in touch with her regularly. And that's how I developed the interest. And then I realized that this is what something we must do in our life. And there's nothing else that we can do, because we have our own auspicious and inauspicious karmas with us, and things unfolding with us in the outside world all depends on that auspicious karma and inauspicious karma that we have bound in our previous life. And but this is something that we have never studied. So we were just studying those, and by the time I finished that last book, I got in touch with Pandit Sumad Prakash ji. He came to Bombay for the first time. He was a Digambar scholar, Bal Brahmachari, and I stay in Borivali now, but at that time I was staying in Daisar. So we heard that he's coming to Borivali for lectures for 1 month only. So it was a long shibir, and that's how we got connected to him. And the first lecture only, we were all very impressed, all the people who were in Sthanakvasi at that point of time in our Swadhyay group. And then we continued that, and that 1 month's brainstorming sessions. And personally also, I met him and asked few questions that I had in mind. And I was very satisfied with the answers what he gave. And I realized that this is the true religion. And in the evening, so he was taking Jain Siddhant Pravesika in the morning, and the whole structure of Dravya Gun Paryay, substance, attributes, and modification. And in the evening, he was explaining us about the life of Kanji Swamiji, how he was also a Sthanakwasi sadhu, and then subsequently he changed to Digambar, and he left that Svetambar Sampradaya, and there were a lot of struggle in between. And all this story inspired me, and I thought, if this is the true religion, then I should also live that. In fact, I was never into Sthanakvasi, so I was never into religion, in fact. So this was all very interesting. I thought it's very interesting, and I must change. So we also adopted the Digambar Jain Dharma, and we were constantly in touch with Pandit ji. And I can say whatever I know is just because of him, and he has been a mentor for me. And I was regularly going to him, and he was also coming to Bombay every year, almost 3-4 years. He came continuously at that point of time, and then he started going to other places also, and we were also going to Sibirs and all, and that's how my interest further developed. And the kind of atmosphere and the mahol that we get in a Sibir and all, it's all very amazing. It takes you deep into your studies. So that all helped me, and I was into business, and that business was having some component which were illegal. We can call it illegal from the taxation point of view also, and from the moral point of view. And then I realized that if I'm supposed to get, I will get anyways. I need not get indulge in this kind of wrongful activity. And in one of the lectures, he said that for attaining Samyak Darshan, you need to leave Anyay, Aniti, and Abhaksh. So my business was Aniti only. I knew it. And and about the abaksh thing also. So we were not aware of the how Shuddh Bhojan is prepared and all. So we learned from him everything, and then we adapted those lifestyle changes in ourselves. And from then on, we were following these rituals very religiously. And then I thought of changing my business. I said, okay, I'm going to get anyways what I'm destined to. So I should not indulge in this kind of wrongful activity. And, which was dragging me in my quest for religion. So I was feeling guilty also. So then I left that business, and in between I had a struggle, and then I developed a new business, completely new, where I didn't have any experience. And I developed that business, and it took off very nicely after a certain time. But that struggling period was there in between. I managed those time also. And then subsequently it was all very good experience only. And then I changed my residence from Daisar to Borivali. I bought an office in Marine Lines, and my business was flourishing like anything. And I thought of uh, taking another office in Santa Cruz in Mumbai only. So I used to ask everything to him, my changing of business, and whatever I've done is through his guidance only. So when I planned to expand my business and bought a new office, so I asked him. So then he said, this is enough for you for this life. You leave it and get into this studies. So it was initially a shock for me, but then I analyzed those things. And he was there for another month in Borivali. And at that time, I had shifted to Borivali also. So I had many doubts in my mind, and I was fearful also. My parents, my wife, I have a son. So we all were 5 people. And if something goes wrong with then retiring was not a sound idea at that point of time. There was an element of risk. But by the end of 1 month, he was here, and I took a off from my business purely to attend this Sibir on a very attentive manner, because I can afford. This was my own business, so I can always afford to whether I want to work or not. If I'm into a job, then I have to always follow my superior's guidance. But since I was independent, I was able to take that off, 1 month off from the business. And I changed my mobile also, so I was not being disturbed by mobiles number also. So that gave me some time for introspection, and ultimately I realized that there is an element of risk everywhere. Even if I continue business, there is no guarantee that I will make profit every year. I can make losses also. So then I took that risk, and I listened to his advice, and I left the business totally. So that was in November 4th, 2011. And today is also November 4th, 2011. So I feel today is my birthday. And the day I retired, my life changed completely, because you are cut off from one, like it was taking 12 hours of my day in business. In Bombay, you take 1.5 hour to travel to office, and then you come back, and then in between business. But while I was doing business, I was doing my studies regularly. I used to get up 5 o'clock in the morning, and then I used to go to the temple and have Abhishek every day. And there was CD pravachans and Vidwan's pravachan there in the temple. I was doing all that. And so from 5 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock, it was my personal time. And then only I switch on the mobile. And then my business activity started. So that kept me continuously, that I was continuously in touch with Jinwani and all. So that I was always planning to retire. The day I read that Kalash number 34 from Samaisar, that where Acharya Amrit Chandra motivates us to take a retirement for 6 months and see that we are able to experience ourselves or not, So that Kalash was in my mind always, and I always thought of retiring, But financially, I had to be independent to retire, and I was not that financially sound. So, but this new business flourished like anything, and I got all the right contacts. And this whole business of mine was, I was a financial advisor. I started with insurance, and then I subsequently diversified into mutual funds. And mutual funds in 2003 was not very popular. And I got a very good break, and I got a good clientele, and my whole business was on cold calling. I used to go to building. I used to travel by lift to the top floor, and then I used to come back, and I used to go to office to an office and present my card and explain what I was doing. And I got good responses from there. And I went for only 6 months. And within that 6 months, I got so many clients that I have never had the time to complete serving them only. So that was only 6 months, but I got some very good HNIs client. And so my business also flourished. And then subsequently, as I said, it was all going very good, but I had this thing in my mind that I will retire someday. But I had set a target that if I get this much money, I will retire. And then when that target was achieved, I thought of getting more. So it kept on dragging. And like, as I said, I was expanding my business. I was buying a new office. So all these things were running in my mind. But since Panditji came, and he just motivated me that you just leave it. This much also, you have only one son, and this much also you will not be able to consume in your whole life. And I had this inner interest of retiring. And then I thought about it, and there was so much of brainstorming with my family, with Panditji and all. And ultimately I took that risk, of retiring. So at that time it was a bit risky. If I would have incurred a big expense, like my parents were old, and it could be anything. So then it would be a challenge. And once you leave it, then it's very difficult to get back to it again. So there were some risk, but somehow I was lucky to survive and not having any big expenses for the next 10 years. And so that was very good. And since one more interesting thing I would say, that I left my business and I completely stopped it. So since I was into financial advisory, I thought of giving that business to somebody. In between, I got an offer from somebody. One of my mutual fund salesmen only bought me offer that such and such person is looking to take over, businesses. You would be interested? I said, yeah. And that deal also worked out, and I got a very good money as a goodwill, which I was never expecting. And that's how I thought that, see, if you have a rise of auspicious karma, you get money by any means. So that was also unexpected. And then he took over my whole staff and everything, and my office was also became free. So I sold my office also, and all this money I put into FDs, bonds, and PPF, and all fixed instruments, all government-backed fixed instruments. I never took a risk. I never invested a penny in equities, and I had mental peace, and the interest that was coming, it was enough for me and my family. And that's how, in between, my son also went to Jaipur. So when we got interested in this religion, we also taught him from the beginning itself. And I remember when he was 5 years old, he used to we made him memorize gathas, Samaisar gathas, some important gathas, and he used to tell these gathas in stages, wherever he used to go. So he was also got interested in religion, and then subsequently by the time he came to class 10, he got 90% in Mumbai. So Panditji again motivated him to go to Jaipur, and he went to Jaipur at Pandit Todarmal Smarak Trust, and there he did a Sastri course for 5 years. And when he came back to Bombay, he did his MA in philosophy from Mumbai University, and then after that he started his PhD, and he did his PhD in Anekant Syadvad, and that PhD took 5 years. And in fact, last month only he submitted the final thesis, and this month he is going to have Viva. In between, he went to international conferences on religion, on philosophies and Jainism in Ireland and SOS UK, SOS London. He got married in February itself this year. And so in April, he went to London. Both of them went to London, and subsequently he got an offer from Birmingham University to do their do research in Jainism in that university. So now, after he gets his PhD certificate, he's supposed to join there from 1st Jan. So my only son, and he was also into Jainism. And so I asked him that whether you want to continue with this business. I'm planning to retire. So he was in Jaipur at that time. So he said, I'm not interested in doing any business. I will be doing this. I'll become a professor and teach Jainism and all. I'll be in this field only. So I then closed my business, and it got sold off, and my office also got sold off, and I retired. And I have only relation with money is that I go to the ATM, and that ATM is also in my building, and I just take out money whenever I require. Everything is so much perfectly planned, so there is no worries on that front. So mentally also I'm very free. And then subsequently I retired in 2011, November 4th, as I said. And in 2012, in May, we went to that Prashikshan Sibir in Sagar in MP. And there I did Prashikshan training also. And then subsequently, Panditji inspired me to start teaching. So there is a group Shibir going on in MP and UP every year in the summer vacation, where they conduct simultaneously 70-80 places Shibirs at same time. So initially I taught the kids for the first time, and I liked it very much that it's, it improves our preparation only, and we go deep into the understanding. So that's how my journey of teaching began, and subsequently I started teaching seniors also from the next year. So every year I used to have this opportunity of teaching for 10 days. And then I joined that course also. That was a correspondence course from PTST of Shastri for 5 years. But they were not teaching us. We had to study our own, and we used to give exam every 6 months, just like you will be doing here. So by the time I finished that course in 2016, this Paramagam Honors offer came, and that's how I joined Paramagam Honors as a teacher. And so far I have completed batches, 5 batches, you can say. 5th batch is just coming up to an end this next month only. So these 5 batches, 3 batches simultaneously I was doing in 2016. I was going physically to Dadar and Ghatkopar. So there were 2 these batches, and one was in USA, that was an online. This was in 2016 I'm talking about. And then those got end in the 2020, and then I have one other batch in 2018 that also has been completed. And now the 2019 is also coming to an end. My part is over. There is a last paper going on, which is being taught by another teacher. So that way I finished it. And now last year I started this English batch of 2023. So that is into the second semester. We are in the end of second semester. Last paper is going on. And in between, I got a chance to do something in English. Trust was developing a portal and they wanted everything in English. So my ex-students also, I formed a team with my ex-students and I was just guiding them about the content, and they were writing on the contents, and they have a very good command over English. Someday I will introduce you to one of them who is the main writer of these contents. So she's very good in English, and she's also very good concept-wise also. She's among the toppers always. So I was just guiding them what to take and what to not take. I devised a syllabus, for that portal, and we took around 80 topics, 50 topics from the existing books that we have, Vitrag Vigyan and Tattva Gyan and all, and 30 we selected some new topics which are not part of our syllabus, and I was assisting them. I was into only I was giving the ideas what is to be included and from where it is to be taken and everything. And that was all in Hindi. And she used to write everything in English. And then subsequently I used to check. So since I was in class 3, I used to read newspapers every day. That habit I had formed. Initially, it was only sports. Then by the time I came in class 9, 10, I was into current affairs also, because we had some projects in school where we need to present something on current affairs. So that my interest was there in newspaper reading every day, from class 3 itself. And that kept me in touch with English over the years. When I completed my studies, I had no touch in English at that point of time, because my business was such that we used to talk in Hindi and Gujarati only. But when I joined my new business, it was because of English only I was able to do that business on cold calling. And then that was also, I would say that English and this English is a bit different. And so I thought that I will do something in English later on, but let me study first. So I studied it, and now I thought that now is the time to start something in English. And with this portal, I got more accustomed. And since I thought that this has also got a great future, because in Hindi and English, I will tell you the difference. In Hindi, it is all very gumao kind of things. And in English, it is all very straightforward. The words are straightforward, the meanings are straightforward, and so I thought that we can have Bhav Bhasan from English also. And there is a community building up, new generation coming up, and they are more interested. They understand better English. And I also now have this habit that I like English more now. So again, I thought that I know English, so I will be teaching English. I can teach English, So, and that's how I started. So content-wise, I'm aware of everything. But the words were not coming out in English. And it took me 3, 4, 5 months to, get to that level. And I'm gradually improving. And still I feel that I'm not perfect. I have something to learn, many things to learn, not something, but many things to learn, in terms of concept-wise also, and in terms of language-wise also. But I have made a beginning, and that's how I have opted for another English batch, and that's how I am here. So basically, I have explained everything about my life. Just because I explained, I was just relating to the challenges that I've undertaken in my life. And every time it was very challenging, and it appeared very problematic from, initially I thought it's all very problematic. But the moment you decide that you want to do it, and you see that all the solutions come forward. Sorry. So you all will face challenges in your life. Now you are joining something new, and this is going to change your life for sure. And I will relate to you a karma theory. There is a karma theory that whenever you do something good, your inauspicious karma comes into fruition prematurely. Like you make an FD with a bank, and suppose it is going to mature at 3 years, after 3 years. But in between you are need of money. So what you do? You go to the bank and break those FDs. So it is called prematurity. Premature, what we call prematuring your FDs, So you get the whole money, whatever the interest along with that at that point of time only. Similarly, in karma, we are binding karmas every moment, and not only this life, but from past life. And this soul has been there since time immortal. Okay. So soul is from time immortal. Karma is also from time immortal. It is not that a soul was pure and karma came and then it became impure. No. Soul is impure since time immortal, and karmas are also there with the soul from time immortal. Pandit Todarmalji, the Manglacharan that I did is from Pandit Todarmalji, and we will be studying Moksha Marg Prakashak in detail over a period of 5 years, some chapters starting from 3rd sem, 4th sem, 5th sem, like something. So Pandit Todarmalji gave a very good example to make you understand this concept, that like when we dig gold, from the mines, the gold is not pure. It comes with muds and other materials, along with that gold. But then that people who have extracted that gold, they put it on fire, heat it. And all the impurities goes away, and then you get a gold of 24 karat. So this is how. So there is nobody who has put that mud along with that gold. It is all very natural. Similarly, soul and karma are together naturally only. It is not that someone has done it. Okay. So similarly, soul and karmas are together since time immortal. And it is because of the karmas that we are suffering in the 4 realms of life. Human life is what we are experiencing now. There is a subhuman life, Tiryanj Gati, It includes the whole of animal and plant kingdom. Someone writes it as animal kingdom, but it is not animal. Plants are all included. Plants are also living being. Even Acharya Jagadish Chandra Bose proved it, later on. But our Jinwani tells us from the beginning, all our omniscient has taught us in their sermons, through Divya Dhvani. And from that Divya Dhvani, Gandhar was able to capture those preachings. And then he all subsequently passed on to other acharyas. And then other acharyas passed on this teachings to other acharyas. And so that chain, so through the chain, then subsequently the acharyas were no more there. Then some of the vidwans, it was passed on to some of the vidwans, and not vidwans, the acharyas also it was passing on, and then it was the writing of the scripture started, maybe after 600 years after Mahavir Swami went to moksha. So Acharya Dharsen, Acharya Dharsen, under the aegis guidance of Acharya Dharsen, this writing of scriptures went on, and then from scriptures to scriptures, in between many acharyas also gave their own contribution, commentaries on whatever was already written earlier. So that's how we have all the scriptures, and it is our, we can say, good luck that all have been preserved. You know, they used to write on tal patri, and then they used to leave it there, because those were all acharyas, Bhavlingi Muniraj, you know. So they never carried those with along with them. They don't have any parigra, no possessions with them. So they used to write and they used to keep there. It was the Sravaks who collected all those things, and if you see some of the granths like Samaysar, it has got 415 gathas. And not only those gathas we have got as it is, but also there are commentaries on that. That also. So Kunkunda Acharya was here 2000 years ago. And after that, 1000 years later on, Acharya Amrit Chandra also was there. So initially, the granths were written in Prakrit. Acharya Amrit Chandra Dev wrote it in Sanskrit. And then subsequently, we had some Khadi Boli Hindi, different types of dialects. And then we have pure Hindi, and then we have Gujarati, and now we have English. So all these translations are going on. Still, there are some books in Hindi which have not been translated into English, and that are all part of our Parmagam. But there is a translation team who is working round the clock on an honorary basis to do this kind of translation. And so you are fortunate that for the whole first year you have everything in English. For the next third sem also, everything there is in English, and other things are going on. So by the time you reach fourth sem, fifth sem, you will have everything in English. At least you have some support, you know, for studying yourself. So this English text you will be provided today. This is all about the general introduction. Now I will introduce to the course, you know, how the course will go, how the course will run. So there will be 3 papers every semester, 100 marks each. So total is 300 marks. Out of which, so there will be 3 papers, paper 1, paper 2, paper 3. This is same across all semesters. So out of that 300 marks, 50 marks of each paper will be objectives. And that objective will be online, and you will give the exams, and you will get the right answers and your marks then and there. The moment you submit, the same moment you will get the marks and the corrections also. Okay. So that will be objective, and that there is a special window that will open for 7 days. And within 7 days, you have to attempt that exam. And maximum time given is 5 hours. So whenever you start that exam, you should have sufficient time for you to finish. But on an average, students take 1.5 hours for that objective, because it's all you have to tick only. So there is MCQ. Then there is fill in the blanks, there is match the following, and there is true and false. These 4 kind of exercises will be there, and that will form 50 marks of each paper. So usually it will open in the month of July for you for the first time, and then subsequently in January. So July and January are our exams time. And today, this year, it is a bit earlier. It starts from 30th December to 7th Jan, first paper. But usually it will start on the 7th or 8th of Jan, or 7th or 8th of July. You know, that's how we have been doing so long. So So that window will remain open for 7 days. You can attempt your exam anytime online and you will get the result then and there for 50 marks. So 50 into 3 is 150 marks. Now balance 150 marks, you will have 30 marks for each paper as concept clarity, wherein you will be asked to write concepts, whatever you have understood it in that paper, So there will be 3 concept clarity paper 1, paper 2, paper 3. So now 60 marks left, 30, 30, 30. So 90 and 150 is 240 is gone. Now 60 marks are left. So out of that 60 marks, you will have oral of 2 orals of 15 marks each. So that is coming to 30 marks. So first oral is called Gandhar Mulyankan, where you will be asked to summarize what has been taught in the class today. So that summary can happen next class also. So you can have time for preparation and you have to present that summary maximum in 3 to 5 minutes. That's all. And that will carry 15 marks. And these 3 concept clarity papers that I just talked now of 30 marks, there will be no evaluation. We'll be checking it paper and after you are supposed to write 2 pages to 6 pages. You have a choice. You can finish it off in 2 pages also and you can finish in 6 pages maximum also, but not more than 6 pages. And these pages are A4 standard size, So this much you have to write and after that you have to write half page compulsorily for that topic is called Myth Buster. So by studying this paper particularly, what changed in your belief system? That you have to relate to that in Mythbuster. It will be only in half page, maximum half page, and you have to relate to 1 or 2 points, that you felt that earlier your belief was this. After reading this topic, your belief has changed. So that Mythbuster is compulsory along with the concept clarity paper. And concept clarity paper, you can write anything between 2 pages to 6 pages. That's all. And that is with a purpose that that will be a summary kind of thing. So next time when you want to connect to that topic again, you just go through that summary and you don't have to read the whole chapter again, So basically that is that will remain with you permanently and that will be your own for your own benefit. Okay. So whenever you have doubt or you want to connect to that topic again, you just run through that summary and everything will come to your mind. So this is one exercise where you have to submit that summary in 21 days time. Our all assignments, you will get 21 days time from the moment you are announced. So the day we finished paper 1, you will be given 21 days to complete concept clarity on paper 1. Of course, there is a half-page Mythbuster along with that. So these 2 things you have to do in 21 days and submit. So this is something you have to write and upload on a Moodle app that will Apurva will just guide us how to go about it. They will send the links and everything. You will be given a book ordering form link also. So you order that books, you have to make that payment also. That also link will be shared with you. So all this will come later on and we are anyways going to start our real studies from next week. And that also will be Bal Bodh, will starting from the beginning, Bal Bodh 1, 2, 3. These Bal Bodh books were written by Dr. Bharilji maybe 50 years ago, and they are still continuing. So that's why the idea of coming up with a new topics, for that portal, and I hope to get it running, that portal running. Maybe we are waiting for some technical issues, but I hope that it gets It gets started in somewhere in January during the Songat Pratishtha. There is a planning of launching that at that point of time. So if it gets launched, you have access to that 80 articles, and they are planning videos on that also with AV and one more. What is there? Artificial virtuality and what is something I don't know. So they are putting in good money after that project, and that will come someday. It's going to take time. But even if the content parts get listed, then at least you can have access to that content. So those are very nicely written, and that is all in English. So that is also going to help you someday. But now I'm not able to share because there is some issues like intellectual property rights and all, because there is something going wrong in that field also with some other people. So they are just waiting, to get the portal and something in videos also to get that portal started. So that is taking up some time. But whenever you will have access to that, you can study those also. So this was about concept clarity, 30 marks each paper. So 90 marks, 150 for the objective. Now you are left 60, and in 60 you will have that oral of Gandhan Mulyankan. That will be a summary on what is taught, So that is one assignment. The other one is Viva. In Viva, we will ask you 3 questions based on your Gandhar Mulyankan either, or we may ask you some different questions, So that 3 questions, again, you have to voice message me personally, and that is again carrying 15 marks. So 5 marks for each question. So 15 plus 15 is 30 again. So we are left with 30, and that 30 will be again 3 questions being asked centrally by the management. This is these 2 oral assignments of Gandhar Mulyankan and Viva. I'll be evaluating, and I can give you whatever marks I feel you have done like that. So there will be evaluation of that. So you may not get 15 out of 15. You may get 15 out of 15, but you may get 14 also. You may get 13 also. You may get 12 also, depending on the kind of presentation that you have done. So these 2 assignments, we are supposed to do marking. The other 3 is all automatically, objectives is all automatically. And then the last assignment is LCPA, Life Changing Practical Application. LCPA. That is carrying 30 marks, and the management will ask 3 questions centrally, 1 from each paper. Okay. Paper 1, paper 2, and paper 3. So 1 question from each, and that question will be mostly like examples kind of questions, where you have to give examples from your day-to-day life, your real life, something connected to those principles. So they will give you some principles, and then they will ask you to give examples on that from your day-to-day life. So all the 3 questions will be practical only. It will not be a theoretical questions. And that also, either you can write and upload on Moodle app, or you can just voice message. So mostly I get it on voice message. Only if it is more students, like 50 students. I have this batch of 2019 where we have 50 students, and they all stick to that course for 5 years. And so I cannot take that much. So I asked them to voice message me. So I don't have to, because they upload all those pages, but the writings are sometimes very different, I'm not able to read from that writings. So I told them to voice message it. So that also will come into voice message personally to me, and I will listen to this, and I will also do an evaluation on that. So the 60 marks is where we can cut your marks. Otherwise, 90 marks is not You have to just timely deposit it. If you don't submit it timely, then 2 marks will be cut on concept clarity. And orals, so I will be taking only, and the objectives that you will give online only. So this is in short the whole syllabus about. So you see, once we begin this course, now we'll begin with Palbodh 1, 2, 3, which are not part of our syllabus. But since we have time, and as some of you said that you want to start from very beginning, so we are starting from Balbodh, so that nothing is that you will not be able to understand, So from the beginning, and these are for kids, so you will see that these are all very easy chapters. Anybody can read and understand also, but still we will be putting some points which are not there in the chapter and which you need to understand, because you are not kids. Those syllabus was written for the kids. Even Vitrag Vigyan 1, 2, 3 is also taught in Pathshala. So that is also for kids. But if you take these things in very deeply, then also it becomes good for adult also. So all these topics you will be learning, and this is all about the syllabus, about the marks, about the pattern of exams. Now I will be sharing you the syllabus also, and we will begin the study that why should we get enrolled ourselves in this kind of study. What is the benefit by studying scriptural knowledge, what is the benefit? So we'll see, there are 10 points on Swadhyay, why we should do this Swadhyay. Originally it was written in Hindi, and then I got translated into English. So I tried myself also, but that quality was not that good. So I gave it for correction, and to my content maker, I said no. So then she put it on Chat GPT. She wrote her own, and then she put it on Chat GPT. So one thing is that because of Chat GPT, we are getting a very good flow of language, and that's how we are converting all the books into running through Chat GPT, and then, but the Chat GPT doesn't understand the concept. So there are always conceptualized mistakes in Chat GPT versions. So again, that we have to correct manually. So there is a team doing it on a voluntary basis for quite some time. And I would also invite any of you who is good in who have time, and you are all good in English. That's why you have joined the English batch. So if anybody of you have time, we would like volunteers. We would like to expand the team of volunteers so that things get faster. And if we contribute in that, somebody else will be benefited, because ours is being done already. And by the time we will come to those papers, it will all be ready. But even if you can contribute in any way, only if you can review also, it will be good for us. So I'm also part of that team. I'm doing review and all. So there are ex-students and there are current students who are part of that team, and they are working very round the clock, whenever they have time. They are studying also, they are working on this project also, and they are doing job also, they have family life to manage also. So they are, you can see the kind of efforts they are putting it, but then they realize that this is something very unique and beneficial to people at large. So that's why they are putting in that extra efforts. So if they put in efforts, somebody else will get benefit, and somebody else has put in efforts before. So we are getting the benefits now. All these books have been written by Dr. Baharil ji and all, and somebody who have translated at that point of time. Although the quality is not that good, because this was 25 years ago maybe, maybe more than that. So at that point of time, the words which were in use, this has been used, but now if you see those words in text, there are some which are not much in use now. Even I have to go to Google and search, what is the meaning of those words. But I have tried to simplify all the words, and if we get these new versions also, like tomorrow I'm going to get a final copy on Vitrag Vigyan 1. So we'll take at least 2 months to study this Balbodh 1, 2, 3, maybe 1.5 months, and there will be a break also 1 or 2 weeks in January. So we'll be starting with Vitrag Vigyan end of December or January. So we have enough time to cover up those by the end of June. And we will be, of course, completing before that time. We will be completing in May itself. And you will be round the clock involved in some kind of assignments or the other. Only it is the first few weeks that you will not have any homework. Otherwise, you will have some homework. But those are like, if you are preparing for Gandhar, it is not going to take more than half an hour for that. If you are preparing for Viva, we give maximum 10 minutes for that answer, maximum. It can be, you can finish those 3 questions in 5 minutes also. It is generally 5 to 10 minutes time. For Gandhar, we are giving 5 minutes maximum time. These are all maximum time. So minimum you have choice, you can finish in 2 minutes, 3 minutes, because all people are not of same level, Some people are weak also. So we see at the general standard of students, So this is the first assignment of Gandhar Mulyankan is 5 minutes maximum. The next one, Viva, is 3 questions, so that is 10 minutes maximum. Then concept clarity, 21 days we give time. Even for Gandhar Mulyankan and Viva also we give 21 days time. LCPA also you will get 21 days time. And objectives, you will get 7 days time. That window will be open. If someone has some specific problem, he can request, and that can be, they can do it later on also, but then within that month only. And because sometimes some ladies do have some ladies problem, so they are provided for genuine reasons. If somebody is going out on those particular days, somebody attending marriages, so 1 or 2 students always have those kind of problem. So the management is also flexible in that sense that they want us to complete the course. So they go out of way and help us. And many students who had taken a drop for a semester, they come back and join again and they complete that semester also. So presently I have a student who had joined this 2019 batch right now. So initially she was in 2017 batch. She did 3-4 semesters and then she took a drop. Then she joined 2018 batch of mine. Then she took a drop and now she has joined 2019 batch. So you see the kind of interest that student had, but in between she got married and she had to take a drop and all things were there. But she's again joined it and she's now completing the pending assignments. And of course, she is very intelligent also, and grasping power is also great. So she has grasped up everything from the lectures. So there will be a recording of lectures every week. It will be on YouTube. Today also we have got live on YouTube. And for setting up that YouTube, I took 2-3 minutes more. I don't know, I have to sort out that problem, because this is the first time that I got that problem. All my earlier classes didn't have that problem. So I was just talking to Apurvaji how to, so he has referred me to a technical person. So I'll get in touch with her today later on and I will sort out that problem so that next time we don't get that problem. So I was late in joining 2-3 minutes late on getting online. I had joined the Zoom earlier, but this I had to get a code from Apurvaji, so I have to call him up and give me that code, and that code I have to put in, and so then that's how I got the YouTube live going. So today I took that time, but then we'll settle. So you will have recording of this YouTube. In fact, I will make a playlist so you get all the recordings in that. And so if you're not able to attend live, you can do that to recording. But I will always prefer to have live. I'll tell you the difference, because here in live, I ask you in between some questions also. You can ask me also some questions in between. I make you read some text every classes also. So that way you will be more attentive, But if you are listening from a recording, some calls may come in between. And these are all very, you can say, profound kinds of concept, very deep concepts. So you have to be very alert and vigil, to understand these concepts. So it is always good that you attend it live. And another difference is that you increase your internal purity when you put in dedicated hours and you attend it live. But going by my experience, some students who used to attend through recordings only, they had some problem issues, and their standard I saw that did not improve compared to those students who are doing live, Those who are doing live, even by the end of 1 year, you will say that you are very comfortable now with any topics, So because the first year is all about fundamentals, and of course, second year is also about something about fundamentals only. But by the end of 1 year, if you are sticking to that course, you will develop a deep interest into it, and then this will be, you can say, it will be the number one in your point of preference. So it takes some time to get interest into it, and that is where, the student lag and they don't attend the classes live, and then subsequently they miss on recordings also. Even if they're listening, it does not develop that much interest. Okay. So it is always better to attend live, and you should keep the video on. So again, keeping video on keep you alert. And for me also, it is good that I feel I can make out from your face that what kind of understanding that you are going through. And, so it will be better if you go live on videos from next time onwards, not today, but next time onwards. And that's a healthy way of attending classes. Even I attend a yoga class every day on Zoom in the evening time, 3:50, 3:45 to 5 o'clock. And that is, my sir is from Indore only, and he's a naturopathy doctor also, mind naturopathy doctor. So I do practice naturopathy since last 15 years. I have not taken a medicine. And there is another, it's our Jain Charnan Yoga, So some of the medicines, there are some chemicals, which have been extracted from animals, and some, I don't know what it is there. But it is supposed to, these allopathic medicines are supposed to be abaksh, So for that, even my, like Pandit Ji, he motivated me to go to a naturopathy center. And I went to a naturopathy center in Devlali. I attended that. I was there for 10 days and I left the whole technology. And now I'm following it at home. And similarly, I went to Indore also for 10 days. And that has been 5, 7, maybe 10 years ago. I went to that center, and that teacher is only teaching me yoga classes. So I was talking about that live lecture. So we have this yoga classes live. And the day I don't switch on the video, I falter in some exercise, or there is some hindrances, disturbance coming up, something or the other. So we are always on live, but sometimes we have to be on only like I see it on live, but I keep my videos off. That is very rarely, once in a 6 months time. So some problem at home or something like that. Otherwise, I'm always on live. And other thing, that he is also able to correct me if I'm doing anything wrong. So the live ones is good for us, because that is a yoga, that is something different thing. But even while listening also, your attention, level of attention increases if you are going live. So that would be my request, not compulsorily, I can say, but it will be good for me and as well as for you. So this is all about the course and everything. Now, Swanubhuti will be joining any moment, and we'll get a good ideas from her, and I will tell you a word or two about Swanubhuti ji. That this whole course is designed and conceptualized by her only. She is a Shastri from Jaipur, as my son did a Shastri in Jaipur. So she is also done a Shastri from Jaipur, and then she did an MBA. She did MA from philosophy from Mumbai University. Subsequently, she was teaching in Mumbai University also, Tattva and some other papers. And then she did an MBA, and then she worked for the corporates. So she was into Birla Sun Life Insurance as an sales manager. And that's where I was introduced to her from a common friend. And that's how I started my new career also with Birla Sun Life Insurance. So I was an insurance agent. I was a freelancing, of course, I was independent, and then I added new products also. But my initial training and all was from Birla Sun Life only. So they have got good training sessions, and Swanubhuti and I both, she also joined the company maybe 6 months before my time. And that was very peak season. So she immediately started building up her team and doing business. So her training was also pending, and so we both took training together at Birla Sun Life, and then subsequently she was my agency manager. So she taught me many things, and I took her into many of my business meetings, and she got good convincing power, and she converted those clients, and so we were having a good relationship from that time on. And then subsequently she moved to other companies. She moved to ICICI and then Capgemini. So she changed a lot of companies, and now she is a independent director in Motilal Oswal and some other corporates, and she get hefty fees for just attending the meetings and all. And she has 3 kids, all 3 daughters, and her eldest daughter enrolled herself into Todermal Smarak Trust in the Shastri course this year only. So you can imagine, she was studying here in some international school in Mumbai only, and she stays in Jogeshwari Vikhroli Link Road, JBLR, that building of Oberoy's, So she joined, in spite of studying here in English medium and getting good marks. She sent her in Jaipur to study the Shastri course, and she is doing very good there also, because she is very intelligent, just like Swanubhuti ji. So she's doing good very in that course also, and maybe by the time she comes here, she will be teaching in Parmadam also. So she has not created this course, designed this course, but she is ensuring that it goes on and on. And so her legacy is being carried forward by her daughter. And the other two daughters are small. One is, I think, in a class 8. No, not in 8, maybe 5, 6, I don't. So one is, I think, 8-year-old, and the other one is 4-year-old. So this is something even Dr. Bharilji appreciated in one of our events. After these exams are over in January and July, we have our half-yearly events in February or August, wherein the results are declared, first, second, third from each class, and we have some events there at that point of time. So mostly it was Dr. Bharilji coming so far in our every event, but now Dr. Bharilji is also no more. So we get all the Vidwans from Jaipur, like this time it was Santi ji and Piyush ji and all. So those are, so in one of those events, Dr. Bharilji appreciated Swanubhuti ji that she's doing a very big, you can say, in terms of Jain Dharma ki Prabhavna, something very big. And so she's managing the whole course, you can say. And this is being run by students only. The students are managing it. And we have some ex-students who are teaching also here. So these all conceptualization and design and all done by Swanubhuti ji only, and she's already live now, and we will hear good things from her. So over to you, Swanubhuti ji. I have explained everything about the basic things. So over to you.
Thank you, Jai Hind, everybody. Can we have few of the videos open so that we have a conversation? It's not a one-sided discussion. Okay, great. Nice. Yeah, it's nice to see everybody. Thank you.
And nice to see you so soon again.
Yeah, so you're joining this batch? Yeah. Great. Amazing. Okay.
She attended, Swanubhuti ji, she attended your Chaitanya Dham Shibir recently.
Yes. Right.
And that's how she got connected.
Okay. Yeah, right.
So one more introduction is left. I would like Roshni ji to introduce herself.
Jai Jinendra. I'm from Dallas, USA, and I was introduced to this class by my sister. I think she's in her 4th year. Her name is Sheetal Shah. So she introduced me to this, and I'm a mathematician by profession. So I'm really interested in karma theory because Karnanu Yoga has a lot of mathematics. And, obviously my biggest goal is to get closer to Samyak Darshan. So that's why I'm really motivated to commit to this course.
Great. It's a pleasure to know you all. Yeah, Rajesh.
Yeah.
Okay. So welcome everybody. Welcome to this family called Parmadam Honors. And so now you have another family that you can claim to be your own. Very soon you will realize in the next 3 to 5 years, this family will understand you much better, and you will relate with the people here much more than your actual families that you live with. Of course, unless you start getting them involved here as well. So we are a group of people, 5,000 strong worldwide, who are, who believe that the goal is just not the material pleasures. It's, the you can say, transcendental bliss, which is Atindriya Anand, as we would like to call, not the one that we are pursuing through the senses as of now. Now, one thing is for sure, I'm sure you all realize that if somebody were to tell you when you get into a marriage that divorce is inevitable, so how would your life be? Would you still claim both your accounts as one? Would you still consider buying a property in the name of your spouse? Or would you be very clear that if we are to stay together for a certain period and divorce is inevitable, then might as well keep yourself safe for the future, which is a much longer duration apart from the period you're going to spend together. So you know what, our association, our marriage with this body is for a limited period, and divorce is inevitable. When will the divorce happen? Maybe you and I don't know. But one thing is for sure, that we will go our own ways. We'll separate, we'll part ways, right? Now, the issue is that we give this marriage all of our worth, all of our time, and at our own expense, we try to nourish this relationship. And one fine day, we suddenly realize that this is all over. And that's when we are taken in for a shock, because you had not prepared at all for the life beyond this. You were not on your own still. So joining this course, or the swadhyay that you do, or the time you're going to spend, investing in yourself. And when we say yourself, it's not this marriage that you claim, but it's your own existence, which is apart from this marriage. Now, if I were to ask you, how much time should a person ideally give? Because if you are in a marriage, you have to work on things together as well. But how much time would you give on the association, things which are going to, dissolve anyways? And how much time would you want to give to yourself and your actual future, your actual existence? So far, whatever age, we are at, this time, 80 to 90% of the time we have already given to the association. And nobody told us, although we knew at the back of our mind, but we didn't realize it as, prominently, that this is going to get over very soon. So what now we got to do is that this lifetime with this body is going to be very few years, but our actual existence is going to be forever. We never cease to be. And the opportunities we get, we keep investing in the opportunities and forgetting our real existence. We while our time, we waste our time, and everything is in vain because we are left unnourished, malnourished, and we go back to Narak and Nigod. That is where the concept of starting to give time for yourself comes in, starting to understand yourself comes in. That's point number one. Point number two. Did you realize that this association, right, it may be for a few years, that's fine, we do understand that, but we need to understand that our real existence beyond this, which is going to be in the 4 gatis that we have understood. Some of us may not even know that. I'm not sure what is the level of all of the students here. That it's not just the number of hours that you are giving for yourself. It is also how sincerely you are pursuing your own understanding. Which means that if, there's a compounder who is a compounder for, say, 50 years of his life, still is not a doctor. Why? Because he is not understood it systematically. Because while he may have a lot of experience, but whatever he is understood is in a repeat mode. But still in that repeat mode, he does not understand the subject in the way it should be understood, like a doctor does. In 7 years, 10 years, a doctor becomes a big surgeon. And then every operation he does takes him a step ahead. But a compounder, for whatever number of years he keeps adding to his experience, is still the same compounder. So, a lot of us will, who are still aware about our existence and who do understand that we have to do Swadhyay, still are, doing it as a hobby in the couple of hours that they spend. It's not systematic. It's very random. They will start anywhere. They will end anywhere. They will understand any aspect. We don't realize that we are trying to understand one existence which is called the soul, and it has to be understood from 360 degrees, one step at a time, one aspect at a time, and all of those need to add up. Even a movie, if you go to watch, you can't watch from any moment at any point in time and then make sense of it, isn't it? You can't see the clip at hour 1 hours and then watch the beginning and then watch the end and then again watch at 30 minutes. It doesn't make sense for you. So how can a science to understand yourself, a science which is going to explain you your own existence, which cannot be seen, heard, touched, but still needs to be understood bit by bit, piece by piece, aspect by aspect, how can that be random? It has to be a mission. There has to be a goal to understand yourself, and the goal needs a very systematic understanding of yourself in a very sequential manner, in a very systematic manner. And that is what all our Shastra are dedicated towards, to explain what you are, where you are, how you are, your place in the cosmos. That will be explained by Karnanuyog. Your history, that will be explained by the Puran, the stories. For all you know, there's a very high chance that the stories that you are hearing, you were one of the characters in the story. Did it ever occur to you? No, not the main characters, not the ones who became gods, but the sidekicks, the side characters. There's a very high chance that you were that person who was inflicting the upsarg, the atrocities on the sadhu, and hence you are still here. Because after that you had to go to Narak and now you have come back. So those are not the stories of the people that you are hearing or reading. I am a Puran Purush. What do you mean by a Puran Purush? People who existed in the olden times. I existed in the olden time. No? Didn't I exist at the time of Bhagwan Adinath? I was there. And I was doing some shitty things. Because I'm still here. I was surely in Narak or Nigod. I was surely in some bad place, doing the wrong things. I probably might be around him also in the same city, but I was not paying attention to what he was saying or what he was doing. I was busy somewhere else. So one thing for sure we know is that these histories that we are reading, I am somewhere in those histories. When you understand what needs to be done and what does not need to be done, what is the right kind of life, understanding my stage. Why? Because there's a big conflict. Because when you will understand what is the right thing to do, they will tell you the ideal thing to do. And you will think, oh, I am such a papi. I'm such a sinner. So the gap that you're going to see between what is the right and what is the wrong, there are a lot of points in between. So in your bhumika, in your stage, where you are, what is the right thing to do? Don't we need to understand that rightly in a systematic fashion? Why? Because you will either go into a guilt, too much of guilt, not to come back, or you will try to do something which you cannot do, and then there will be too much of tension and stress because you are trying to do more than what you are capable of doing, and then you will just one day blow up like a volcano and come out of all of it. So this is a very systematic, very balanced study of yourself, which needs to be done in a very systematic fashion. If you try to bypass the systematic way of doing it, then you will not understand the right thing. You will take the wrong impressions. And those wrong impressions are more harmful than they will benefit you in the long run. Because this is a very specific science. 0.001% plus or 0.001% minus will still make you a Mithyadrishti. It's still an illusion, because perfection is perfection, and that is what we need to chase here. Understand ourselves perfectly. So these 5 years, it may sound like 5 years, but the next moment you are going to, realize these 5 years will be all gone, and you'll realize very soon. And this is the experience of our ex-students. Since 2016, we have been running the courses, and everybody who's completed 5 years wants to do it again. They want to do the 5 years all over again. They want to, continue by doing masters. They want to be involved as teachers. They want to be involved as management committee members. They want to be a part of this. They don't want to ever lose this, because it's like a daily dose. And there was a process to it. Like, you want to go back to school once again sometimes. You want to live some things all over again sometimes. So don't think it's 5 years. Make the most of every moment, because with a sad heart, but I would say there have been students who didn't live the 5 years. Or even after 5 years, they were no longer there. I mean, in young age, yes, there have been people who have faced things. Of course, we probably may not be one of them, but we have to be ready, because the divorce can happen anytime. So you have to be prepared enough. 5 years, you will only get 2 hours with your teachers. They are the most valuable time of your week. Because don't think that I will, do it through the recordings. Don't think that, the recordings are there for emergency. They are SOS. Because when you are there in front of the teacher, that's the most difficult thing you can get. Out of the 5 labdhis, if you have heard of ever, in Samyak Darshan, Deshna Labdhi is the presence of a teacher. So it's one of the most valuable things you will ever get. They are very busy people. They have a lot of things to do. They are here because they feel that they have found a treasure and they want to share it with you. So regularity in the classes is very, very important. Not only physical regularity, mentally. Don't be exhausted by this time. Keep yourself free. I mean, if you have a class, don't you keep your iPad or mobile phones charged enough so that, it does not die away. So emotionally, mentally, your strength-wise also, don't exhaust yourself before the class. I'm talking to primarily the people who are in US, or, in the time zones for whom it will be the evening time. So you have to be, because this is the best 2 hours in your week where you're going to invest on yourself. Will this be enough? Depends. Actually, Antar Muhurat, which is, within 48 minutes, is also enough for a soul to go to moksha. You're still giving 2 hours a week. But the point is that the intensity that you need in those, in those periods, which means how deeply you are engrossed. So these 2 hours should be very, very, productive hours in your life. You should try to aim for that. And beyond that also, if you do Swadhyay, it is only going to add. You read and you come, you read again after you have left from the class. So these are the aspects which we need to focus on. Why? Because this is a very serious subject. It's not the time, it's the sincerity and the seriousness which is going to make a difference. Because Bharat Chakravarti, if you have heard of, I don't know how many of you are aware of these names, who was the king of the 6th Khand, bigger king than the world that we see right now. A person like him also, I mean, he did not spend a lot of time, but whatever time he spent was, to the mark, helped him get to the next level. To that level that there was a day when he could renounce everything. So that all efforts, that all did not happen physically in the time he was spending, but internally, the way he was looking at the world. So we have to change the way we look at the world through this course, because that is where we have gone wrong so far. It's a change in perception. How will our lives change? Your Punyodaya, your Papodaya will not change. Your circumstances will not change. But the way you start looking at things will change drastically after you have understood the main essence of Jain philosophy. You will start looking at the world the way our sadhus looked at, the way the God looks at, a very detached way, a very different way, a very big, you look at things very closely, they become bigger. But when you have a 21,000 feet view of the same things, everything becomes very small, insignificant. So the problems you're facing in this life, probably if you get the 21,000 feet view of the same problems, they will become very insignificant. This life, this pain, these circumstances, these papude, you have done worse. You have been in worse situation. This is nothing. You just know how to cope with it. And unless you learn how to cope with it, you will fall back into the bigger ones. So the essence of this course is to become stronger, psychologically, mentally. How? That strength is not a momentary strength, not which comes through a few words in a certain moment. It's the actual inner strength of change of perception that you will develop, which is going to be permanent, which will stay with you even in your next life, which will not die with this life. So to change your perception, you need to be thorough. And to be thorough, the more you do Swadhyay, the more you understand the subject going on deeply, the more it will impact you. Last few another pointers. Some of you might be taking a trial by attending this class. Maybe, let me, join it for maybe 2-3 classes or 2-3 months. Anyways, there's non-binding agreement, so I can, walk out anytime. But, that's the biggest, punishment you will inflict on yourself. Because if you are depriving yourself of the real core knowledge, that knowledge which can liberate you, so the loss is all ours. So we have to realize that there may be a lot of circumstances, very, very unfavorable circumstances, where either you are, your ego is hurt. We call it Vishay and Kashay. So maybe you, your ego is hurt. Maybe something else is more enticing. You are, your greed takes over you. You want to do something else more than joining the class here or doing Swadhyay. In any of these cases, where any of your Kashay is, trying to, jor maar rahi ho, yani ki when it is pushing you hard, if any of the Kashay is pushing you hard to leave this, those are the distractions. And you have to stand strong and be true to yourself and not get diverted. And that is the day when your actual exam happens, your real test happens. The test which we are going to take is a test where you are understanding your depth of understanding. But the test, the life will keep posing a lot of tests on every single day. And those are the days when you need to, stand strong and be true to yourself. And that's what we aim for. So with this, I will try to, once again, inspire you that, make this promise to yourself next 5 years. I will give this time to myself, less or more, that is okay. Sometimes you may have medical emergencies or whatever, unavoidable situations, but no, this should continue. What you have begun, you should not fail in this, because if you fail in this, you fail in your life. Which life? Not this life. Your permanent life, which is from Anadikal to Anantakal, which is from eternity to eternity. So exams are objective. They are not very tedious. You have to just take ABCD. They are open book. But in an open book scenario also, we are not testing your memory. We are testing how well you have understood. The questions are tricky to ensure that have you understood every concept in the right fashion. And if you have understood in the right fashion, you'll be able to answer. And if you are losing marks, that's good news. Because that means that after 6 months of studies, through your teacher, through the classes, through your personal, whatever Swadhyay you must have done, still, this is the gap. If it does not get revealed in the, exam, your gaps, then you will live with that error in your understanding forever. So losing marks is good. Exams are very good because they're giving you an opportunity to understand your understanding. The assignments, they are all rooted towards practical application of every principle that you have understood, or comprehensively understanding and, the things that you are going to keep with yourself. So the summary assignments primarily. If, we for, with whatever bad luck, end up in a situation, maybe we are met with an accident. We have no means to your books, to your lectures, to anything else. Whatever, because we are not asking you to memorize anything, but the concepts, they need to be ingrained so well in your mind that whenever you need to bring them out, you know it's your last moment. Maybe you will not, live another hour or whatever. These are the concepts which are going to retain with you. So the summary assignment is going to help you, make sense of the entire subject and make sense in a certain story and bring them all together in a systematic manner in your mind. So each and every assignment has a lot of psychological, practical benefits. They are a part of the course. They are not add-on. So try to complete everything. Don't miss out on anything. And another last point which I want to mention is that few of you who have already joined, try to engage your family members and friends, because your perception will change. Your decision making, your problem solving, your attitude, your preferences, your likes and dislikes, everything will undergo a huge change, but your family members are still there. And there will be a big disconnect which will start building very soon, because they are not seeing the things as you are seeing. Their priorities are different and your priorities are different. So even if you want to be selfish, it's very important they also start seeing things as you are seeing. Not only being selfish, talking about spreading the right thing, that if you are gaining from something, if you find a good product, don't you go and talk about it and tell people, hey, use this, it works for me, it's good. Even a hair conditioner is something, even if you are not gaining out of it, you will still talk about it and ask people who have frizzy hair that use this is going to work for you. And this is something which is permanent. Why? Because this will make a difference to your this life and your next life. Don't you want to see your loved ones or your family and friends to also start getting that peace of mind, or start making better times in this life and ensure it for the next lives? So this is the biggest charity that one can do. This is the biggest gift that you can give to your people, that you also show them the path to liberate. Just not keep telling them how to liberate, because if they get into this, they will find their own path and they will know the right things to do. A lot of times it happens the other way around. People who get other people, the other people get more intense and they develop much more faster and they go much more further than you. And sometimes they help you get, when you get diverted or distracted, they help you get back on the right path. So it's the right ecosystem that we are creating for ourselves. It's good for us. It's a win-win-win situation for us, for them. And this is also making the world a better place, because if everybody has peace of mind, then the world will also have a lot of peace. So it's a very, very bigger objective that emanates from within. It's helping everybody out there. So involve your family and friends. You will be very late by the time you start getting them in future. If it's not in the same batch, or if they are not in the same state that they can still do these 5 years properly, both ways. I hope you understand what I'm saying. A lot of people want similar people. I mean that, known people in the same batches also, which is good for you, because you get you get to offline also talk to them. And, it's adding to your understanding and discussions. I am speaking from the other perspective also, that sometimes you think that I will tell my dad or I will tell my grandfather after I have done my 5 years. Maybe it's too late for your grandfather. If you had already told them now, they would have got the 5 years, but after 5 years, maybe they are not in the mental, physical state. Health-wise, maybe they are not around. So earlier the better. Believe you me, a few of you have already come here with the reference of a few people. You can talk to other students and understand. But if you are thinking of telling somebody after a month, might as well tell now, tell today. Because our batches start once in a year. Of course, they will keep starting till January. But if they miss out on this ride, then it will be next year for them. Straight away next year. And we don't know when the divorce will happen for whom. And the divorce is inevitable. So with this, I would like to, complete the welcome note, which involved a lot of aspects. But think about it. The sincerity is the key, and that is the most important aspect. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. So I'm sure you had a very enriching talk already with Rajesh Bhai. You have one of the best teachers. He has been with us since 2016. Every year he has taken batches. He's one of those persons who's committed his life for this cause. Only Swadhyay and sharing what he has understood with people is his total goal. His entire family, his son, his wife, his all relatives, everybody is into this. And you have one of the most popular and best teachers on board here. So we are thankful to him to have agreed to take this batch as well. And he feels a lot for the English speaking population in terms of who don't understand Hindi that well, and hence he is also taking the English lectures apart from the Hindi ones that he is taking. So if you want to attend both lectures also, his other classes also that he is taking, you can feel free to attend both, because Hindi is also very important, and so far the translations have not been done for all the subjects and all the books. So retaining the roots, retaining the original words as of now is very, very important. He is also going to use a lot of original words, and if you can attend the Hindi ones, if you do understand Hindi, is pretty much advisable and recommended. And I can see that there are not a lot of students here right now. If you want to add more students in a week or two, do try to do that in this batch. Okay.
Anyway, we are starting with Balbodh next week. So
okay.
And then it will go on for 2 months, and then Vitrak Vigyan will come in January. So people can join anytime, but if they are joining from the beginning, it is better for them to understand in a nice way.
See, Balbodh is not in your syllabus, but we don't want you to miss out on any fundamentals before you start doing your Vitrak Vigyan, because basic concepts have been taken in Balbodh. So we do that thoroughly. There are people who don't even know the meaning of Namokar Mantra very well. They are like total beginners also, who just come here because somebody told them that you should do it. So I will very strongly recommend that if people don't know anything, ask them to join right now. Even if you know a few things, the way he is going to explain you will be very different than the way you have known them so far. So this recap, this refresher will be very, very value adding, and this should not be skipped. So don't assume that they can join from another 2 months, the other people. Why? Because they already know probably a few basic things. Ask them to join now only. It's very important. Okay, Rajesh bhai.
Thank you, Swanubhuti ji. We would also like to have volunteers for this group, at least 2 people. So whoever is interested can inform me personally, and so I'll put in the group. And if you can decide now and opt it, there is nothing like it. So otherwise, I will request somebody to be a volunteer for this batch. I think Kopalji, you can be one of them.
Sorry, sir. Could you repeat that?
We need 2 team leaders as volunteers to conduct this group's other activities. I'll let you know what are the activities there, and it's not much time that you have to spare after it. It's only 1 or 2 posting a week that you have to get across this group from the team leaders group. So, but while you will become a team leader, you will learn so many other things which will develop your character further, and it's also going to help you in your studies also. So you'll be in touch with many other team leaders like you in a group, and from time to time we are giving them instructions to share that in group, and that's all. And there are something else also. As a team leader, you will be responsible So all these I'll send you. I'll send a message in group about the functions and the advantages of becoming a team leader, and then maybe you can opt for that.
So we have a very decentralized way of management because with 5,000 students, 75 plus batches, it's not pretty much possible for the central management committee to interact with every student. So in the decentralized fashion, what we do is we have a team leader of every batch. So one teacher and one or two team leaders from every batch. They are the connecting points, the POC, the point of communication or point of contact between the central management committee and the students. So if the students have any, it's for administrative purpose as well. But if the students have any suggestions, any feedback, any problems, any complaints, they all will be routed through the team leader. It will be rolled back to us. Maybe 80% of them can be solved by the team leader because you will already have the answers from the central management committee a lot of times. And everything from the central management committee again disseminates down to the students through the team leaders. So you are the point of contact for both of us. And team leaders are usually the ones, I'm not saying that this is how it works, but the sincerest ones, because they are the ones who top the classes. They are the ones who give constructive feedback to make this course a better course. The entire course is run by only volunteers. We have no paid employees, just for your information. So all the people, like you must be hearing from Apurva, from Shubham, from Dipti, or you will get in touch with a lot of these people very soon. They're all students like you who wanted to give back. And hence they joined us. And they are businessmen and they are doing their jobs. They have their regular lives. They are studying as well as they are also contributing to the management. So team leaders can in future also become teachers or come into the central management committee and start helping us in taking this further. Yeah. Urja would like to be a team leader, I guess. Okay,
yeah,
great.
I would like to be a team leader. I think not just for everybody else, but for myself too, so that I am more connected and involved and I don't skip classes because I will be responsible to, kind of ensure everybody is on board.
Amazing.
So yeah, I would like to nominate myself to become a team leader.
Excellent. So you have Urja already. And we all mostly try to have two team leaders so that, all the responsibility does not fall on one person. Sometimes if that person is not available. So if somebody else also has a co-team leader, volunteers yourself, please try to do that. See, you're not writing a contract, just for your information. If there are problems in life, you can always go back. That's okay.
So
okay,
Leena,
so you have Leena. Yeah. Okay, great. Okay. So that's it from my end. Thank you. Over to you, Rajesh.
Yeah, thank you all. And we'll meet up next week. And that's where we'll start our syllabus also from Balbudh 1. And I'll share you the soft copies and I'll share you the book ordering forms and other formalities through the team leaders, and they will share it in the group, and you can get started, by filling up those forms and ordering for books. So it will take some time, say maybe 10-15 days to reach you the books, but by the time we can manage with the soft copies. And I'll be also screen sharing those books also, so it will not be a problem. Okay, so thank you all, and we will meet up next week. Jai Jinendra.
Jai Jinendra, thank you.
निज निधि निज में बताई यह अनंत उपकार है उसके लिए उसके लिए जीना वाणी माँ को वंदना सतबार है। 9 बार नौकार मंत्र गिनेंगे। जय जिनेंद्र। जय जिनेंद्र।